So guys, welcome back to the channel, and you might have seen this product at Five Below. This right here is the Bytech, let me get the name correct, Bytech Wireless Dog Keyboard. Now it does take one AA battery. It's not Bluetooth, so for the people out there, rejoice. You don't have to look at a tutorial to get it working. It uses a 2.4 gigahertz dongle. It says it's very comfortable. Haven't tried it myself, but we're going to try that together and unbox it. And it does actually separately. You can get a numeral keyboard. So the numeral keyboard is $8. I have a review for that coming soon. And this particular one is $10. So with that being said, the question is, how good is a 2.4 gigahertz connection with real usage? And is it worth the asking price? That's what we're going to check out today. So stay tuned for that. So when you unbox this product, this is everything that comes with it. You have the dongle itself. You have the actual little dog piece that goes onto the top of the keyboard. I'll show you how to connect that. You have the keyboard itself, which is a 69 key keyboard, by the way. And then you have the actual instructions, which, to be honest with you, the instructions don't do much of anything outside of telling you what kind of battery to use. Now, if you flip this over, this is actually where the dongle normally sits. I just happen to take it out for video purposes to show you guys. So you can just take that out. It's actually really secure in there. So that's the one good thing. Unfortunately, I did get a defect on mine right here where this piece wasn't connected. That's probably, a manufacturer issue, them shipping it too fast, using machines, who knows? But that's okay. As long as the keyboard works, that's all that matters to me, so that you, the customer, would know how good or how bad it is. If you flip this lid right here, you have the AA battery right here. So just keep in mind, it only takes one AA battery. I do not know how long it will last with the one battery. That's just something that each consumer, it really depends on the person that uses the keyboard. For me, my keyboards always stay powered on, so mine would die faster than the average person. Now lastly, see these holes right here? This is where this guy goes. So don't worry, you don't have to click anything in. He fits in practically perfectly. So you just put these in a hole, right, like so, and boom, you're good to go. So the last thing we really have to do is just plug this inside the USB, which it does take a couple seconds just to register the product. And then once it's done, you're pretty much good to go. So more importantly, how well does this translate with actual real usage? That's what we're going to test right now. So let's talk about the good and the bad. I want to start with the good first because I don't want to shy you away from the keyboard, but the bad is pretty bad. The good aspect of this keyboard is that when it comes to the 2.4 gigahertz connection, I didn't have any lag whatsoever. Whenever I clicked on something, whenever I clicked on a button immediately, tried to type something in, it responded immediately. A lot of times with cheaper keyboards, you can tap a button and the response doesn't kick in because of the alignment of the keys. Sometimes it's made cheap. This particular one works very well. I didn't have any hiccups whatsoever when it came to typing outside of my own errors because I suck at spelling. Now, with that being said, technically, the keyboard works perfectly fine. Here's the bad part. This is a very, 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 very chunky keyboard, and it sits very high. Now, normally with keyboards, when you have those latches on the back and it kicks out, it's supposed to sit at an angle where it's easier for your hands to type. But because this is so chunky, it requires you to have a keyboard rest. If you do not have a keyboard rest, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like that little strip on the front of a keyboard where you can rest your hands at comfortably and then start typing. That's what you want to do. But because this keyboard is so chunky for me, I sit about a good, I don't know, little over half a foot away from my desk. I'm never sitting directly on my desk. So when I'm typing, my elbows are actually on my rest on my chair. And normally I have some type of keyboard rest right here. Or if I don't use a keyboard rest, like for example, this is a thin keyboard that I normally use right here. So I don't need a keyboard rest for this because it's thin. While this guy is chunky. It looks like you're running up a hill right here, as you can see. It's much, much thicker than my original keyboard. So whenever I'm typing, I normally have my hands hovering over the keyboard, which requires me to use physical arm strength to lift it up a little bit higher. Now, I know some people are like, oh, that's just a silly gripe. Hear me out. When you're typing term papers, when you're doing some form of work for your job, like working from home, you're always typing. So when your fingers are constantly going, you can feel the strain. That's where the carpal tunnel comes from. If you have to do that in addition to holding your hands a certain way, that's going to strain a person's shoulder. It's going to strain your arms, and you're going to end up getting problems over time physically that you really don't want. I'm just being honest with you. And even though it seems like a minor gripe, I think that people should take their physical well-being very seriously, in my opinion. Now, to rectify that simple problem, I do have a keyboard grip that I got from Five Below. It's like this drip one where it looks like water dripping or something like that. I have different ones. I actually reviewed them on the channel, and because those are so chunky and thick, I placed that in front of this keyboard, and now that basically relieved any issues I had whatsoever. So if we're talking about functionality, the keyboard works great. There's no lag in inputs. I've even tried gaming with it, and I do not game with the keyboard at all, so I suck at it. But the fact that I was able to press the inputs without an issue, like what was it? A, S, W, and Z, or one of them, I forget it might be D instead, I don't remember, but to actually move the character around, everything was very, very, very responsive. And that's going to be great for someone that wants to buy a keyboard that's affordable rather than having to go to like a Micro Center or a Best Buy and spend top dollar for a keyboard. Sometimes you just don't have it, or sometimes you don't want to spend it. And if this look, you like it, just get yourself a keyboard rest. Otherwise, you shouldn't have any issues. Or you can sit closer to your desk and I can place my hands comfortably there, but these keys are very chunky, so I'm constantly moving and shifting my arms back and forth because of how high the keyboard is sitting. So it's a minor gripe, but just keep that in mind if you're thinking about purchasing this. So to answer the question whether this keyboard is actually worth $10, I mean, it's not bad. One of the reasons why I like it is because it does have the 2.4 gigahertz connection. Too many times we get Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth connectivity, depending if you're using a tablet or an iPhone or an Android or even a computer that has Bluetooth, sometimes it just doesn't really respond the same way, especially if you have a cheap dongle. That's one of the reasons why your connectivity really isn't that good. So this one does have 2.4 gigahertz, cool. You don't have to worry about charging it, just need one AA battery, that's a plus. It is a smaller keyboard, so for that person out there that has a nice little mat and their old keyboard is too big, this will work for you. Though keep in mind it is 69 keys, and you have to buy the numeral pad separate, which they do sell one. As a matter of fact, we're going to show you how it looks, and I'll do an unboxing for that. Also, stuff falling out of the closet. I got so much stuff. So this right here is actually the numeral keyboard that was sit next to it. So just keep that in mind. $8. I'll unbox this next video. And this also has the 2.4 gigahertz connection. So you're looking at about $10 for the keyboard, $18 for both. And when you go into that range of territory and price wise, I'll be honest with you, you can just go online and order yourself something $20, $25 that was probably going to be substantially better than this overall. But this is Five Below, so just keep in mind if you walk into a store, you can get this instantly versus something getting sent to you, or you may never been to a Micro Center, you may not go to Best Buy for keyboards and know what to look for, and you just happen to buy this for someone. Just listen to the whole review and keep in mind what the warning I had about the wrist stand. If you don't have anything in the front of this right here, like one of those little strips for your, what is it called? I forget what it's called. But the point is, if you don't have one of those grips for you to rest your hands on, you may feel some discomfort. I felt discomfort almost immediately using it without it. And when I placed it in front of it and I had level, it felt fine. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.